Hello, beloved viewer. It's been quite a while, and glad to have you back again. And here we are with yet again another exciting episode of the Youth Voice Show here on Hope Channel Uganda. And hosting this conversation tonight, my name is Edison Masereka. Now tonight, we are discussing a very pertinent topic. We have a problem quite on the rise, and especially among Christian young women. And this is single motherhood. Sadly, it's crippling so fast among the Christian circles. It's not been a thing, but of late, we're having so many incidents of young women getting pregnant. There might be very many abortions happening as well, but that we may not have evidence and we may not know. But at least for single motherhood, we do know. Why is it rising? What is the problem? Do we blame the young men? Is it the young women? How can we solve it? Is there hope for young women that have found themselves amidst this? And what of those young women who are on the verge of becoming single mothers? Is it something to worry about anyway? These and more questions we're going to be answering on this conversation tonight. And to help us unpack this conversation, I am having a panel of two ladies. They are not single mothers, but they are single, I guess, and one gentleman. The gentleman on the extreme right is a household face on this show, and that is Kanso Onesmus Akankwata. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you, Edson.
And then right here, someone who has been very absent from us for quite some good time. This is Kanso Ruth Nakamia.
Hello.
Delighted to have you again.
Thank you.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
You've been very busy.
Kind of.
But you've been well, eh?
Yes.
Yeah, we thank God. And thank you for coming back.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and we are also having, for her very maiden appearance on this show, Mercy Namakula. She is, by profession, she is a counselor. We are glad to have you with us. And thank you very much for coming. And just to help us dive into the conversation right away, what do we think is the problem? Why is single motherhood on the rise, especially among Christian young women?
Recently was carried out some statistics, which is the official body for numerical numbers, and it showed that 30% of the young women out there, aged between 18 and 35, are single mothers. That number is quite big. That simply means out of 100 women you find,
30 of them.
30 of them are single mothers. And I'm in a circle of church where I'm not seeing all these numbers, but out there they are. So currently today we're living in a generation where people you think are married, but actually they aren't married. Now, the causes are very many. And this is happening more into the, when I was reading that report, it showed that more into the classy world of the educated people who tend to be busy and the rest, and the feminism rise and the rest is bringing this to rise a lot. In the villages, in the rural areas, it's more of I would say, young children giving birth. But in town,
teenage mothers, yes.
More of teenage mothers. In the corporate world, this is why we're finding a lot of single mothers. Now, causes are very many. I think I'll begin with one. One is the negativity now that has been brought on board by the educated people. They think they can support their kids alone. They feel like what a man can do, I can do better. I don't know whether you two women believe the same thing, but men remain men. And that should never come out of your mouth, that what we can do, you can do better. Never. What a man can do, a woman can do better at some point, more so in raising a kid. So that negativity has brought a lot of trials. I remember a friend of mine who was educated, and because of her education, she felt like she can do life alone. And because the man was providing less on table in terms of employment and the rest, she's like, I can raise the kid on my own. So negativity brought along with education and the educated people has really caused a lot in increasing the numbers of single mothers around.
Interesting. Negativity.
I think I would say social media. Today, people have decided to put their lives out there. And there are certain influential people that are living single lives. They've reached the peak of their careers, they're influencing other people, and they're putting their lives generally out there. And they're showing young people that, you know what, this can go on. Like, oh, I am so-and-so, I work with this organization, I'm taking care of my child, I divorced the father because ABC and D, or I had this child when I had just finished school and, and life is good. They get to live a life that we desire. So to the minds of the young people, then it is inscribed that, you know what, it's possible. I can live this life. But then also, I think, like Onesmus said, that what a man can do, women cannot do. I think today women have really stood their ground. They've stepped up in terms of whatever they are doing. Currently, I'm still in school, and some of my friends are married. But when you ask them, so why are you in this course?
Ruth.
Yes.
No, you're not saying you're still in school, yes, but this is postgraduate studies, right?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's postgraduate.
You're making it sound like you are still.
No, okay. I'm doing a postgraduate, so I finished school and went back for further studies. But my friends are married, and then they keep on sharing what's happening in the marriage. And one of them mentioned that for her, she's continuing to pursue herself so that she can do better because the man is not doing enough. Yeah. So I feel like men today are not doing enough, and yet the women feel like, so if this person is not doing what they're supposed to do, I need to step up. And women have really stepped up, and they've continued to nurture a generation of strong women that are rising. So let's say I am raised by a struggling mother. She has parented me, and now as I grow up, I know that as a woman, I need to be in position to stand. So the moment I get there, I'm like, now, what's the use of a man? You get? So I feel like we are coming from that kind of background, that kind of understanding, and it has shaped us. And now we get to a point of, I am not yet married, but maybe I need to have a child. I am getting old, so I'll have this child because I have a good job, because I've studied, and I can do all these things. I end up having this child, and we move on.
And we're living in a generation of social media.
Yeah.
It's more of eating our eats today. People feel like what they're seeing on social media should motivate them. Remember we had a show here where I and Edson and some other gentlemen around, we agree that we're not using TikTok.
Oh, me too.
You should. Oh, glad that you're not using TikTok, my learned friend. Now, blindly, this social media is eating us out there. We look at people and we feel like, oh, this kind of life they're living, her being a single mother and raising these kids, you feel like you're motivated as well to join that path. Literally, if we could find ways of how we could get to know their stories behind cameras, know what they're going through off camera, what their children are going through emotionally, what the community around them is seeing them off the social media, following and the rest. Because at the end of it all, these social medias will be paying them. As for you getting the negativity and that feed into your mind, which actually is going to eat you alone, as us are busy having good families around, not even motivating off camera. So social media, we should be careful about it, and as you were saying.
Yeah. Well, for me, about that, I think there are so many beliefs that have been built in our generation where young people think it is okay to cohabit before marriage now. That is what we believe. So now that has caused a lot of young girls to become young mothers, single mothers, because you cohabit for a month and then the guy is like, I don't think she's the one. And before you know, you're already pregnant and the guy is already out of it. So I think there are so many, many reasons as to why single motherhood is on a rise right now. Being, Onesmus mentioned, some women believe they can do it on their own. There's a podcast I was watching and a woman was like, she got married and for no reason she felt like, this guy is not the one. So she was like, I think this is not working out for me. So she quit the marriage with a boy. And she clearly advocates for being a single mother. She's like, me, I would wish any other woman to only have a kid and stay out of any marriage. Like, you don't need a man to be with your child. So I think there's so many beliefs that are building up, that are piling up in our generation, that are causing single motherhood to be on a rise recently.
Yes, it's a contribution. Of late, I came to agree, and I came to a full conclusion. Never ever is a woman who is in love. More so a single woman who has been single for some time and now she's falling in love. Because there is the way they distance themselves from common sense. She has been single for some time. Now, lo and behold, she meets Edison. And she wants to do full wife duties. Out of the blue Sunday, we've been shooting Hope Channel programs here. Or we've been having an outing, or we have a date, or whatever, as a church and the rest. She's out there going to wash your utensils, going to clean the clothes, going to... Now, cohabiting is something that we don't talk in church spaces. But truth be told,
It's a reality there.
youths out there do a lot of cohabiting. And actually, many girls feel like it's the way of keeping a man. But women out there, for us, you don't keep us. Most of that these men, you don't keep us by doing the cohabitation things, coming out to wash for us clothes and the rest. You don't keep us that
But
way.
Is it that you don't want?
Well, that should be personal.
Well, I am thinking the whole cause of this rotates around us losing our spiritual values and not being spiritually grounded. Because now, Onesimus, I want to say you can speak for yourself. You're not going to speak for Edson or any other viewer that is watching. There are Adventist men that delight in cohabiting.
True.
And they're practicing it. And that is because we've chosen to live out of the word. The Adventist women that are in church and they're serving, but out there they're living out of the word of God. So I think the whole cause why the single motherhood notion is rampant these days is because we've chosen not to be spiritually grounded.
And actually,
We do have a problem of late, and especially with the postmodernism, where everyone thinks they have a right to do whatever they want to do, and you have no business poking your nose in their business. Leave them to do whatever you want to. Leave them to do whatever it is they want. They please. Now, is single motherhood something we should worry about, or we should just let the individual be? And who is at loss here?
surely we should worry about it. Who is at loss? The children we're leaving behind. Because look at the emotional damage you're going to cause to the child. We shall look at the effects later on, but the child and the mother you're leaving behind. And it becomes worse if the woman or the girl before was a housewife. Most of these women who don't want to work and the rest. And she's expecting everything from a man. That becomes even worse. And it also becomes worse if initially a man was married to some person else and you, the second wife around, you know how it plays. Women, we love saying, okay, I'm married. I'm like, keep around just for just, and lo and behold, you're pregnant. So it becomes worse for you on the other side, seeing a man with a happy family, with their wife and their children, and your kid is struggling. So who is at loss mainly? To me, it's the child first. Not having a parental figure, both of them, it's something disturbing as you're raising up a kid. And also the woman you're leaving behind, most especially one wasn't working and was more of Senteza Kameza. That woman will struggle a lot. Because even her chances of getting married are reduced.
But I also think the church is at loss when we look at our young women that are in church. Let's say someone has been in ministry and then they become pregnant all of a sudden. They're going to withdraw from the church. So you're losing a very good servant, someone who would have supported in nurturing another generation of ministers in the church. We've lost many choir members. We've lost many other people. So I think the church is at loss in as much as God continues to bring new people there are people you really see and you know we need these people.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And the problem is that when this happens in our churches, really, even the whole church community shows you that, you know, you need to be out there. Yeah. So I really think the church is at loss. We've lost good leaders, good ministers, and other people.
So on that note, do you think that the church is doing what it takes to perhaps help young people in making wise choices in such things? For example, I mentioned cohabiting being a reality in church. Is the church doing enough work to guide us?
Funny enough, I had that similar conversation with my mom yesterday. And she mentioned that the church is playing its role. The problem lies with the way we make our decisions as individuals. Because again, the church is going to teach you what the Bible says, but it's not going to follow you up to say, oh, Edson, don't sleep around, or don't go to this person's home. There is a lot of individual work that needs to be done. So the church is doing its role. It's not, our church leaders are not going to follow us around like we are 2 years old. Yeah. And I know we at one time had a pastor in our district, and he used to follow up randomly visiting you. And to some youths, it felt like, oh, the pastor is overdoing. And I'm like, but you guys, I think it's okay. Checks and
As long
balances.
as you don't have any,
yes, like it will help you because you know.
Scrutiny is not a problem if you have no skeletons in your
Exactly.
closet.
Because you know, oh, by the way, I might be here with Onesimus, and then the pastor randomly shows up. Yeah. So you're like, let me leave that out. And during that season, I noticed there were young people that had started dressing differently at their workplaces because they knew any day the pastor would come.
Pastor was like Balaam.
Yes. Like, as you're aware, he pops up. So I really think that,
Well,
there's some bit of work.
For me, about that question, I think it is something we should worry about, because it really feels like in God's setting for a family, when God is setting a family, it is majorly the father, the mother, and the children. So when that is disorganized, we really need to worry about that. And then I feel like when you asked who is hurt, I feel like everyone in that mix is hurt. Every community, everything, like let's say the mother is hurt, the child is hurt, the father is also hurt in a certain way. For men, sometimes they don't notice, but you're hurt because you're distanced from your children and they need a father. So the church loses people that are serving, and the community also, like everyone in that mix is really affected. So I feel like also Ruth mentioned about the church doing its role. Like honestly, it's not like we are going to be followed up. They're going to be coming every now and then checking on you what is going on. Not really. So I feel like the church is playing its role, which is preaching to us and calling us to be followers of Christ and teaching us what the church says about marriage, cohabiting, and everything in that mix. So it is our deliberate decision to choose which way to go. So I honestly feel like the church should not be blamed for not playing the role, because the church
Those
has
of us who are here, the church you go to,
Yes.
are things like these open conversations in your church? Are things like this talked about on the pulpit or anywhere in church spaces, in the church you go to?
Do you want us to be honest?
Yes.
No, in my church, honestly, it's not there. But what I have noticed is that our church elders move down to the individuals. Personally, I've had church elders sit me down. So, Ruth, you're done with school. What next? We don't want you to be, doing things. And really, as the church, so this has happened to me. And I've had suggestions of, but we know this person, maybe you could give them a try. So they've not had that discussion, like, okay, youths, come and sit and we have this. But I know they've sat me down. They've sat other people down. Like, there are young people that are in my church that are dating. Like, okay, so what are you guys doing? What are you looking up to? But just like I mentioned, it is our decision. There are young people within my church that have refused to do the right thing even after they've been approached.
Yes, young
Well-
people that have refused to do the right thing even when they have been approached.
Yeah.
Onesmus,
In-
do you think we are to blame as young men? Because these young women, they are not doing this to themselves. Do we think we are to blame as young men? Is there something we're not doing right?
Partially yes, partially no. We are to blame because most of the young men out there fear responsibilities. Truth be told, the moment you tell him I'm pregnant, he'll ghost you. He will disappear and he'll bring a lot of excuses, 1,000 of them. But also, I would say partially no, simply because, with due respect, women are here. Many of them tend to be desperate, I would say, with this myth in quotes that men are very few, understanding men
And
are
so
very few, and so women are many.
She ties herself on you by
She
getting
ties-
pregnant. You cry under baby.
She brings everything possible. Actually, to make it plain, she'll bring food on table with even a fork to eat. And you're like, no. So I would say partially, yes, we are there to blame, we as men, but also partially, no, on the side of women, but also we as Christian men now, we've received a lot of nurturing. From my church, Stillwater, I received these teachings one-on-one. An elder, when I was still at campus, told me, make sure before you graduate, you've got a girlfriend, because out there, when you leave campus, it's going to be tricky. After my graduation, he asked me, did you get a girlfriend? I'm like,
You said no.
And he's like, for the 4 years you are doing law, you didn't get a girlfriend?
That's really.
And then he had to sit me down and now take me through another process. But also, I love the way our church has handled, particularly my church, where I worship from, has handled single mothers. They will never publicly come and they say, those in favor of this girl giving birth to be out of church for some time on church discipline, raise up your hands. They'll meet you one-on-one. If other churches around would embrace not, I would say, public embarrassment or something of a kind that would bring mental health issues to this person in the long run, find ways of speak to this girl. Okay, she has made a mistake. But how about we speak to them one-on-one and find ways of bringing them back out of that sin? So wrapping up it all, men are there to be blamed, but also women.
What do we say about a young man?
Well, like I said, we are not spiritually grounded. We are not allowing the word of the Lord to set standards for us. I feel like the young men in church today, they are physically in church, but spiritually in the world. So someone is physically there, but they are okay, there is no bar. I will not say there is a bar. There is no bar. Yeah. So, and they are being shaped by a different understanding of the world. Yeah. So many young men, okay, there are those that don't really fear responsibility, but commitment. I think as young people, young men fear commitment. They fear to commit to whatever is going to happen thereafter. There are very few who are in church. And I'll tell you what some young men are doing. They are maybe not impregnating young women in church. They're doing it out there.
Out of church.
Yeah, because...
And in church they are saints. Church is a good
Exactly. So I feel like the men fear commitment.
Before we go for the break, is pregnancy before marriage by accident?
I don't think so. By the time you choose to sleep with this person, there was consent. So that's not accident.
Unless you were raped somewhere on the way. Is it by accident?
I think it depends. Yeah, I think it depends. Sometimes it may be an accident because there are some people that are being raped out there.
Yes, I admit. Someone was raped on the way. Like,
Yeah.
So
Okay.
it depends. I
you
would
were
still
raped
say.
at a guy's place and you say you were raped.
Honestly,
Where you
might have
went,
pulled
he
back.
probably
No, what were you doing
facilitated.
there?
One thing I want to agree with.
Onesmus is single, and you go to his house in the evening, and he stays alone.
We have
And
gone
you
to
were
pray.
raped.
Why are you praying from
You
his
can't
home?
bring ghee next to fire and expect it not to melt. So, but it's like keeping a line with meat. What do you expect?
But I really think people consent to these things. I consent to have sex with you. And I was reading recently that even when you say, "Oh, he's going to withdraw," it will not
don't.
make it doesn't. It doesn't.
Most of them don't.
Yeah. So I really think people consent. Maybe we've chosen to live with this short-lived enjoyment. Yeah. So, and when you're trapped in that, also the devil is going to take the opportunity. He's going to seize you from there.
Also, me still on that point, I would still say it depends. It depends. I would not say getting pregnant is not a coincidence. As we said, you decide to go there, but then I don't think we should also still say it is maybe something that someone really wanted to, because I would go, like she said, short time enjoyment. You're like, let me go and just have fun. So then you end up getting pregnant. You didn't prepare for that, did you?
But you knew. No. I think we are mature. I think we are mature. By the time I choose to sleep with someone,
you can't come to my
by the time I choose to sleep,
And when you come back from the break, we're also going to talk about the triviality around sex. Like in the past, it used to be a thing, but today, like you can have it like
Small things.
That should come after the
it's
break.
not a big thing now.
Yeah.
Let's go for a break. It's been a very heated up argument off camera, but we've decided to bring this back on air. And we are talking about this whole thing of someone saying I got pregnant by accident.
mistake. Yes.
And I want us to look at the multiplicity of options to help people not to get pregnant. Now, this is a Christian show. I know we are not encouraging anything like use protection, withdraw, whatever it is not to get pregnant. We want you to be celibate and not put yourself in situations where you get pregnant until you get married. But we are saying that, we young people are still at liberty to do whatever that we want to do, not to get pregnant. And you still get pregnant.
Yeah. So maybe this is what I am saying. I like this gentleman. He likes me back. By the time I choose to go to his place, and please note, these days people go at whatever time. You're not going to say they're even going to go in the evening. People have decided to miss classes. People have decided to leave their workplaces.
To chop devotion.
Yes,
and not go
and to go and meet this person, and then you say it was a mistake. Like by the time we got there, I even managed to take off my clothes, or he took off my clothes.
No one got pregnant in a restaurant having dinner.
Yes. No, okay, here's the thing. No, let me speak for the other side. Here's the thing. I visit who? Should I say Onesimus?
It's okay.
Okay, I visit you at your place. Now, generally, I'm coming to see my man. To see my guy.
At home.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you
You
for
guys-
coming.
you don't go?
How are you dressed?
Yeah, I'm dressed decently.
Thank
Very
the
decently.
Lord.
And I'm here to have, maybe he missed church, was not feeling well.
It's okay.
So I come home so we can
okay.
have a small devotion
It's okay.
there. You get me?
Yeah,
So now,
girlfriend.
yes, you know. So now I'm here for a devotion.
Shepherd
it's
days.
okay.
Now
The devotion is done.
now the situation gets hits up.
Yes.
Like maybe he needs some.
You're tapid sponging
Yeah,
him.
you know. So now.
Okay.
He's just like, thank you so much. So now, like, okay, here's the thing. Sometimes it is not like someone went intentionally to get pregnant, but just to be there emotionally for someone they do what? They care about and love. I'm
But
here
by
for
the
you
time-
emotionally. I want you guys to get me so well. Like, I'm here to stand with you emotionally. But emotionally, the situation gets hit up. And we start like, we are in a relationship, guys. It is not like we are brothers or sisters or something. So Sometimes it is not like my intention was to get pregnant.
I know, right?
But the situation just...
Your intention was not to get pregnant.
This is
That
the whole
we
issue.
understand.
Situation.
But we are
I want
saying
us to speak the
by
plain
the
truth.
time you actually get
By the
pregnant,
ti- unless-
so much has, sex is the last
so
thing that
much
happens.
has happened.
The in between,
Edson,
guys.
Edson, I
So much has
I agree
happened.
with this thing. Unless it's rape, most of them begin with cuddling.
Yes, and it starts with those small
You guys
things.
can't
small
you
touches.
cuddle. That's
Why are you
cuddling.
cuddling? You stay in your
You begin
home.
with cuddling. You
We
begin by
don't want.
touching a person before you realize the clothes are off.
Guys-
And actually, you as a lady, you even go an extra step of removing my button.
Yes,
removed your button.
thank you.
This
And
is the plain truth.
I-
And at that point,
let us
Just
agree.
if
Let
I am
us agree.
thirsty and you give me water, should I not drink it?
why wouldn't I?
You said no.
The spirit has already evaporated from the devotion.
I really think that sometimes we put ourselves in really precarious situations.
Yes. True.
Situations that it's even hard for the Spirit of God to protect us.
True, Yes. true.
Situations that it's like, even blaming the devil is...
Yeah. You really
It's a
can't
Maybe these people
blame the
think a
devil
way
when
of
it comes
keeping
to
a
that.
man is by having sex with them. Most of them actually.
No, but also like our young men, I think we've diluted the whole spirituality bit of it.
True.
I feel like
That I agree.
our young men are into the habit of testing. Someone gave me an example and they said, you see, when you're maybe in the tax park and someone is probably selling groundnuts, what is going to prompt you to buy them is after they've given you something
test and see how sweet it
I'm
is.
like, what?
Do people still do that even?
What?
Oh my God!
That's what people do.
Hit and run is.
No, I'm saying in terms of testing products. I mean,
Oh.
Oh, they do.
They do. People do
They
test
do.
products.
They do.
There's product testing.
Yeah, they do.
maybe
So-
cakes.
And popcorns as well.
There's product testing.
And even what the test is not, but...
So I feel like our young people have also transferred that notion.
why are we
to-
reducing? We are children of God. Why are we reducing ourselves to this level? Why? What has
Many of
Now,
us no
I
longer
think-
want to read the Bible. That's
Yeah.
the plain truth.
We are living out of the Bible.
When you
We
get
do
into
read
the
other
word,
things,
at
but
least-
not the Bible.
And also, the generation has really changed. Like back then, marriage used to be a setup. Like they just set up and they're like, Ruth, we have some good guy here, so you just get
And
married.
can we say this the way it is? You know the shame still comes back to the young women.
Yeah.
You know how society glorifies men and their sex escapades.
That's why we say men are bad.
And I really think their men are not at loss. You know how a man can easily run around you're suffering with a baby alone.
Sure.
But can I tell you, you can't say men are not at loss.
I'm just saying that
You guys, let me tell you, a friend of mine, and I know he watches this show, we were one time sharing about virginity, and he told me, Ruth, I got married as a virgin man. And he was saying, do you know how many young men are not virgins but
Yes.
are looking for virgins? So also as a
talking
man,
about.
and I feel like we are living in a very wrong society where society thinks virginity is more important to a woman
Than a
Than to
man.
a
than the man, which is so wrong. It is important
and-
to all.
and-
And the
for it,
challenge
like-
is hard to test if a man
And
is
you see,
virgin.
and you see, men are really proud that they sleep around, and they feel like it is ashaming for a woman to do so.
And that's why I'm saying that a woman is more at loss. Because you're most likely...
We are all at
you're
loss.
going to have sex. Both of you are two young men, maybe in church, singing in a church choir, and the two of you are going to have sex. And the young woman is more likely to be victimized. And the young man in his circle is going to be glorified for it.
Yeah. We need to change our understanding of all this, and I feel like we need to allow ourselves to be shaped. Our standard should be the Word of God, not the worldly standards. And we need to distance ourselves from worldly pleasure because it's doing us a disservice as a church, as young women in the church, and as young men.
Something I want to advise young men out there, they should never use scriptures to defend themselves
In wrong.
in wrong. I once was asking a gentleman who is a deacon, why are you having, actually single, not even officially married, why are you having two different women having your two different children? He told me in Luganda, in quotes, he said, Omusaja sajarata. And he said, for example, I pick inspiration from King Solomon.
Shame.
And
That's sad.
he's using these things wrongly for his wrong mistakes. And it's like, if King Solomon had 1,000, who am I to have only 2?
And can we also say that our example and standard is Jesus?
Yeah.
I mean, I have been told by elders, the people who leading our choirs, deacons, and someone tells you, I slept with my wife before I married them. And we see these things happening. But they are never my standard.
Yeah.
I think it's a big problem if we have to reduce our inspiration and our standard to just people in church. I mean, the lesson we've been doing of in Corinthians of church leaders and cliques in church and all these different things and how we can easily be drawn to the wrong people in church. It's not a good thing. It's not a good thing that actually we are.
Christ needs to be our standard.
He needs to be our standard and the one that we emulate. Because people are always falling. And somehow, the reason some of these things are not open conversations in the church that we go to are because the people supposed to be telling us these things compromise their way into their marriages. And so they have no moral pedestal on which to stand to tell us the right thing to do.
And also because we know that they actually did. We saw them, and now we are sure that, you know, if you didn't live by it, how
do you tell us what to do?
And I feel like I usually remind myself of the fact that we are a chosen generation, a holy priesthood of the Lord. We cannot afford to live just like everyone else. Yesterday I was with a friend and she was telling me, you know what, truth, I am the apple of God's eye. I need to be different if I am the apple of his eye. But the fact that we continue to live as each and every other person, we are not even being exemplary. And, you know, a close friend of mine at school keeps on saying, Ruth, I feel like you're holy, like you're up there. So there are things when you do them, I feel like, what is Ruth doing? So we need to set a standard for other people. But the problem is that people are not actually seeing that difference in us. We are living like everyone else.
Yes, and I want us to go back to single motherhood and close this. And I want us to look at the transactional nature of relationships. Do young men feel like after they have invested in you, not just young men, but men in general, do they feel like after they have invested in you, you are obligated to kind of pay back, and perhaps the only way you can pay back is by sleeping with them? We have aspects of cross-generational relationships. You have young men in maybe their early 20s. They are going for men who are more advanced in years because of the money and that. Do you think that such aspects of the transactional nature of relationships and men being more on the providing side actually necessitates young women reciprocating in giving their bodies, and thus single motherhood being on the rise?
To married men out there who are doing other women besides the official women, the only way of paying them back more so to these young girls is by sleeping with them. Secondly, to these people in long distance relationship, you've spent a full day not seeing your guy, perhaps he's in Dubai or somewhere else. Landlord is coming back, and that long-term excitement, you feel like you should exchange your bodies. So we're living in a generation where people feel like the only payback, to a greater extent, the only payback you should give man is sleeping around with them. And failure to do that, actually, I've had many friends who have walked away from a relationship because the girl stood her ground and refused to open her legs. I know many of my gentlemen out there who feel like, this woman is more of Ellen White. I can't live with her. So, in general, this generation we're living in is more of paying back by sleeping around with man.
Well, me, I've had someone say that for a man to give you his money, he feels some kind of entitlement when he starts providing. And to a woman, when she gives you her body, she feels some kind of entitlement. So that is the difference. Me, when I give you my body, I feel like you're mine. You're my man.
When
then for a
say,
man,
I gave him everything. What do they mean?
So when I say I gave him everything, I said like everything he wanted. So it is like maybe it is her body because now I can't give you money clearly. How much should I give you that is enough? So now here's the thing. I've had a friend of mine who told me a story of his friend who works abroad, but he normally comes back to Uganda with a lot of money and he targets a beautiful woman, and he's like, my target is that girl. I'm going to get her. So he will take you. So in this particular story, the guy got this beautiful girl, took her to a bond, and told her to choose any car of her choice. And he even went ahead and paid, it was 500 for a blocker who took them. Just like, that is just your money for helping us find our attack. And the girl was sure, I have this guy right in my hands. So the guy promised, was like, now after us getting a car, we'll go to the hotel room, sleep there, and then maybe we'll start planning for the Mikolo. And so the girl was so excited, and before she knew, she was already over the moon. She slept with a guy. Now everything was in a mix. The guy went ahead and even did kuchala. He visited the girl's home. Then after that, everything just ended. He didn't say anything. He just got his stuff and went back to his home abroad, to meet his family there. So now this girl was left here. Who knows, maybe she's a single mother right now. Who knows what happened? So I think there are so many things that are happening. And I also have a friend in church who told me, I go to the bar once in a while, not to booze, but just for fun. I enjoy the music there. So I feel like we have lost values as Christian youths. We've lost our values. We've lost our principles. We don't know what the church wants us to do right now. You find a lot of us compromising on the values that should be more important to us as Christians, just to fit in the society we are in. And that has caused us to end up becoming single mothers. Maybe you just want to be like that girl who's beautiful. You just want to, what does it take? I mean, it does not finish. So let me just be there for him, you know. So, and you end up getting into a trap that is so deep and you can't get out of there. So I feel like there are so many reasons as to why we are getting trapped in that ditch of becoming single mothers.
I think it is because we've decided that this one thing is going to determine how we relate. We've failed to find other ways of spending quality time in our relationships. And we keep on thinking that the only way I'm going to spend time with my partner is through being in his bed. Yeah. Yet there are other things we can do outside being in each other's space. And then we've also not set boundaries. Yeah, we are not saying that as far as this relationship is concerned, we are not doing this. As far as my life is concerned, I am not coming to your place, you're not coming to my place. Can we meet in a public space? Can we do this? Yeah. And also, our relationships are not guided by the Spirit. When I had a conversation with my friends and they were sharing with me the challenges they are facing in their marriages and what, and they came to a conclusion, men are terrible. Meanwhile, they are married women, but they are saying men are terrible. Me, I'm going to pursue my life. And, I had a conviction within me that was telling me that this could not be the kind of setting God designed for us, because we know He's the one that initiated this beautiful union, and He did not initiate it to hurt us. Why are we getting hurt? Is because we've drawn Him out of our union. Picture. And this starts from when we are building these relationships. The moment you're starting out with Onesimus, you're saying, oh, he's a man of God, he's a deacon in his church. Okay, after having that, you start now living life out of that. You put Christ aside and you just go about your life. There is no accountability. There is nothing. You're just living your own life. Yeah.
I want to speak to young men out there, mainly who are victims of causing these young girls become single mothers. Fine, I agree. The greatest need of a man is sex.
Is it?
The greatest need of a woman is affection. That's the plain truth.
Really? Yes.
Your greatest need as a woman is affection. Ours is more of sex. And after sex, we move away and we're okay with that. But how about you people think of... I was reading some article which showed that when a man sleeps with a woman, their DNA remains in that woman forever. I don't know the scientific implication of that, but that thing shocked me. I'm like, that's why one of the hardest questions to ask guys is your body count.
Beyond that, you're taking they are giving you something. In most cases, negative.
Someone said in line with what you're saying that because of that DNA thing, you could give birth to your child and they don't look like their dad. Anyway, I am not coming
look
from
like
the
their
medical
I've
background,
had that before as well.
and I'm just
You're having a kid and the kid is kind of dull. The father is bright. The mother is bright. But the kid is dull and you're like, what could be the cause?
Kumbe the ex-
Our entire clan is full of bright people. Kumbe, the line
There's
of the
a
guys
DNA.
that have gone before you. Her campus days.
And maybe to fellow young men, you know, funny how after all this we still want young women who have not been sleeping around.
True.
But how do you get her when you're the reason?
there's another
Scores
single
of young
mother.
women are not pure or something like that. And finally, is there hope for young women who have veered off the path? And especially, I know a number of young women that are single mothers, and some of their struggles are in a way that people now like men take them as easy prey. Because now you have
I'm
a
now
child,
doing you a
it's
favor.
a sign that
Don't play down.
and if I am coming to you, I am actually doing you a favor. I mean, who is going to accept you the way you are? And in most cases, they are victimized. They are seen as easy target, and they are used over and again and different things like that. Some have even gone as far as getting second children. They are manipulated. They will have a series of broken relations because men come and use them and then they leave them. What hope is there for them?
Well, I think before we get to that, I wanted to speak about the young women that have become single mothers out of a certain need. Could be a health problem or something, like maybe this person, they were compelled by a certain situation to get there. I know someone that is currently a single mother, but it was because of their health problem. I think they were struggling with fibroids, and the doctor advised that the only way to go about them
Is getting pregnant.
is getting pregnant, so that when she has the operation, they can all be extracted out. Yeah, and now she did whatever she did out of desperation. Like she felt like I needed to get this out of my way. So there are situations like that. And they have compelled the young women to do certain things. And so it's not that every single mother actually slept with someone because
They
she
wanted.
wanted. Yeah, there are people that have been married off and, they realized. So our blessed hope lies in our Lord. You're not too broken to be fixed. Yes, you've made the mistake. Number one, you need to accept that this is a mistake I made. And then you need to be intentional about your new walk with Christ. Because the only way you're going to feel better about yourself, about the child you're raising, is through Christ. Whatever you desire to have, even if it's another man, this man is going to come from the Lord. It's not going to come out of your own effort. So you need to rebuild your life, but this time centering it around Christ. And then also, I wouldn't want any young woman that is currently parenting a child alone to think that a man is going to take advantage of you or something. You need to stand your ground. You need to stand your ground. You need to wait on the Lord until He brings the right person your way. There are men that have accepted women the way they are with their children, and they've decided to take this responsibility on. And sometimes these men are single men. They like you and they've chosen to go with you the way you are.
Genuine young men,
Yes.
like Onesimus.
Onesimus, we want to think you can. Yeah. So I want to tell you, if you're a young woman out there, I want to tell you, be patient, wait on the Lord. You're not too broken to be fixed.
I want to add on what Ruth has said. Broken pieces can be used again.
Yeah.
Christ can remold you and shape you bring you back to shape. But one thing I want to speak to those women out there, one thing I don't feel okay with them is, after giving their birth, they feel like, when I'm going to look for a man, the first condition is he should love my child. Not even loving me. But you always hear them,
And you mistake that for, because this guy comes with ice cream for the child and you think, oh, he loves me.
So there is still hope
Yes.
for women out there. And like what Ruth was saying, the men out there who genuinely can love a woman who has given birth.
Yeah.
I, for one, I can genuinely fall for one, though it's kind of hard, but I can.
Okay.
I can.
And please finish your point.
So I want to finish up by saying that hope is still there. People shouldn't lose out and don't be desperate, because out of desperacy you end up doing other more things that are even
Thank you very
worse.
much. Before I bring Mercy to say her last words, and on that point, don't be desperate, because now people think, you have nothing more to protect. But also, if you are looking forward to doing things right and getting married again, don't put the child up front. You know, the very first date you're mentioning, I have a child, or your DP is a child. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but I'm saying that you are sending the wrong signal sometimes.
True.
Yeah, let it. We're not saying we should hide your child altogether, but we are saying you don't have to put that out first.
It shouldn't be your number one
shouldn't
thing.
be your number one. And you know, every person you meet for the very first time, I have a child, and yes, you those are conversations that come in at the right time when you know a person is ready to hear it or something like that. And
Well, for me, I think there is actually a lot of hope because there's a scripture that says it's about a sinner. When a sinner finds out their mistake and turn their eyes back to God, there's always still hope. So I feel like sometimes when we make mistakes as big as those, we turn away from God because we feel like we don't deserve His mercy anymore. We don't deserve to be before Him anymore. But God calls sinners because God loves sinners more than He loves those that think they are righteous. Actually, there's a scripture that says that speaks about someone who thinks they are righteous more than the others. So to the young mothers out there that are single mothers, I believe there is hope. And it is okay to seek yourself first before seeking closure in someone else. First, seek yourself first. Get to know who you are without anyone else, just you and God. Seek God before you seek to get into another relationship, because some people get so desperate, they want to prove a point. People think no one is going to love me for me, so I must get a man, and I must get a man as soon as possible. No. I feel like you should first look for yourself, because once you hit this rock bottom, it's like everything has ended for you. So just come down to this point of, I'm here right now, so how do I get out of this place? Pray to God, look for God, speak to God honestly, tell Him your heart, tell Him where you are and why you got there, and tell Him you know that this is a mistake that you did and you regret doing it, and maybe you don't want to be at this point again. And after that, maybe you can find love.
Yeah.
Love can be found
But I also
anywhere.
think the young women need to add value to themselves. Yeah, like away from this child, because again, you see this whole thing of what do you bring to the table. You need to be of a certain value. Yeah, when you have this child, it doesn't mean it's the end for you. You can still rebuild your life. You can still be a more resourceful person, because this gentleman is going to be looking out for the value that you have. So if you are pursuing school and maybe you dropped off because of this child, when you get to a safer position, please go back to school. Yeah, please learn new skills that can help you generate income. Continue educating yourself. Take care of yourself, because before this man sees the child, he's seeing you. Don't abandon yourself. So I feel like you need to continue adding value to yourself, and when the right person comes, you lock in.
And that's a really good thing. If you got a child because of dependence on a man or something, learn to stand on your own feet. And to fellow young men out there, don't be the reason young women curse marriage, young women curse relationships. Young women curse men. You can't be a man of God, standing before God's children in church, leading here and there, singing and serving the Lord. But you are the reason a young woman is heartbroken, is disappointed, and never wants to fall in love again. Not a good thing, especially for those of us who have the label of Christ. But most importantly, you are not too broken to be fixed. No matter how far you have gone, there is always and only one step back. You turn your face back to the Lord, and He's going to pick you up and He will fix you, and everything's going to fall back into place again. And may God help us. May we have hope in Him. Those of us that have been broken before and those that were somehow on the path of making mistakes, may the Lord heal you, and may you move on strongly, bold, and be happy ever after.
Amen.
Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. It's been a pleasure having you. You've shared very fruitful insights, and I'm sure that our fellows out there have learned something. For myself and the rest of the team here at Hope Channel Uganda, it's been a pleasure having you on the show. See you next time.